So for those of you that don't know, I am Archangel Barachiel, so I'm the angel of joy. But with that, I'm also considered God's lightning, so God's fury and anger. So I have to deal with the balance of joy and divine anger, if that makes sense. And I've really struggled with the duality of that because they're very different. And so I would have two completely different aspects of myself that I was trying to balance, right? And so that would mean I would have a lot of very joyful, high vibrational days and a lot of very dark, depressing nights of the soul. And I'm also connected to a galactic Lucifer. Like, I am the galactic Lucifer, basically. Not the angelic one, it's a little different. But, like, that was, like, kind of my role on a galactic scale. And so I was a rebel. And I really, leaned into that God's anger part of me on that life. And that would kind of be more of, like, my Yusuke side. If you guys have watched Yu Yu Hakusho. Whereas, like, my full-on joyful side would be, like, Luffy. But I'm both. And both are me. As both, you know what I'm trying to say. Like, we're all each other. Just in different universes and aspects. But we share the same core. And something that's been helping me to balance the two in a way that I have never done before is, instead of viewing it like two different modes that I have to let flow fluidly and like basically take the punches of going from highs to lows and just letting it happen, instead I merged them in a way where I did embody my true joyful embodied self, that like basically the part of me that would choose to be joyful even if the whole world was out to get me, the part of me that would still choose to live life like a celebration and to still not give a heck about what people think regardless of what was going on external. And in order to get that part of myself out, I literally had to put myself through meditative simulations of what would it be like if the whole world really did turn against me? What would it be like if the whole galactic system did? That's pretty traumatic, like, because I actually have been through that before in that Lucifer lifetime. But nonetheless, I had to, go through that in meditation and finding the part of me that would still choose to have joy, kind of like how like a little kid would still make magic out of staring at the carpet. Like, remember when you were just a little kid and you would just crawl on the floor and you would find joy in the littlest of things? Maybe you even got yelled at before and you'd go in your room and then all of a sudden your imagination would take over and you'd be creating your own little heaven on earth. That part of you is like the most powerful, sovereign, embodied self. And that's where I'm being led into, which makes sense because I am who I am. And I feel like that's why I'm the one making this message here, is to like help you guys remember how to do this too. But yeah, that part of me that is allowed to be unshamefully, fully, authentically creative and joyful despite what's going on around me, I realize is my power. And then in that state of mind, I was able to bridge my divine anger in a way that wasn't as dense as before, and it was more so, it was kind of like, I seen this thing one time of Archangel Michael saying that instead of viewing things, like instead of viewing what he does as fighting and like doing so out of ego and petty stuff, he said he only acts, he said he doesn't operate from that frequency, and that he only steps in when the sacred frequencies needs to be rebalanced, like basically when dark has overstepped. But he said it's never personal, and he doesn't, like, the way that they view it is literally from an otherworldly perspective, and I'm starting to step into that too, to where I was able to astrally, this is non-physically by the way, energetically clear out a lot of distortions and demons from that frequency of being blissed out, and not really viewing it in my usual Yusuke crash out Lucifer energy, to where I was able to kind of fall into like a Vishnu aspect of myself, where I was able to view the fighting as a dance and like a heightened distortion. And the best way I could describe this process, it's almost like kind of going from like Super Saiyan, like the Yusuke Lucifer crash out energies used to be my Super Saiyan. It used to help me kick ass when I needed to, whereas now I'm like embodying a part of myself that's even higher than that aspect of me, that remembers that even that was an illusion. And I'm tapping into like my ultra instinct now, to where like I'm just on a completely different level of mastery. And I was even able to I was literally able to embody myself being so vast and different that even the omniversal cube itself was in awe of my presence being here. So, and I was only able to do that from digging into the part of me that would be okay with being the only joyful person in existence. And it is in that choosing, it is in that choice of being the joy that is the highest true light source code. So I send this out to everyone else a part of the collective of true light fragments of source that need to hear this. Hope this helps. Peace out. Blessings.